PAX East Gaming Convention. Last year, we were pretty much the only cosplay panel here, and I noticed this year there were 5 cosplay panels. Y'all are copycats. Really?
Good for them for getting it.
Yeah. But today we're going to be doing something different. Last year we were talking about how you can start your cosplay journey and your prop making journey. This year we're telling you how to stand out and be better. Basically cosplay hipsters. So we're going to introduce each other starting from right to the left.
Pretty accurate.
And yeah. All right, so we're going to start with Nick here.
All right, my name's Nick. I run Squibby Cosplay and Props. I started making props probably 2 years ago now. My first ever convention was Dragon Con, and that's a big one to start on. My first costume ever was just a store-bought costume. It was a suit. It was a Payday 2 for any of those who played it. So I bought everything for it, but being able to interact with everyone in the crowds and everything in that costume, like, it started my love for doing this. So after that, the first costume I ever constructed from scratch was my ODST armor. And I have my newest version of my helmet right here, which is all 100% 3D printed. So I went to college for game art, and I learned how to do 3D modeling. And that's some skills I used to start doing this cosplay stuff, because I can 3D model everything, make my patterns, and this I don't even want to call it a hobby because it's more like a lifestyle. And it allowed me to use all my skill sets that I've used during my entire life to culminate it all into one thing where I get to interact with all of you awesome people. I love seeing the things people can make, and I always strive to get even better at what I do. So it's just, I don't know, I love all you guys, and I love what I do, and I really hope to get better in the future. So that's what I do.
Thank you, Nick.
Love you, Nick!
All about that cosplay lifestyle. All right, next we have moi. My name is Joe Tierney, and I run a business called Blue Fox Cosplay. Any of you Ruby fans who are looking for props may probably have seen my store on Etsy. Basically, mine's kind of an interesting story. When I was really little growing up, I watched a lot of Star Wars and I watched a lot of Power Rangers, and I loved their outfits. I thought, oh, look at that helmets and the Jedi robes. And then I'd go to the costume store, and they'd have like T-shirts with like the Jedi robes printed on them, and I'm like, this is no. So my brother was a member of the 405th later on in life. A lot of failed costume attempts before I actually tried learning. So around the age of 12 years old, my brother introduced me to the 405th, and I began my armor making journey. I was one of the youngest members in the community, and despite my young age, I'm actually one of the longest active members on the 405th. I mean, not to brag, but. I started off learning with Pepakura, which a lot of you prop makers know is printing designs onto paper and folding them and gluing them together, and then using a bunch of car products to turn them into armor. And then I learned EVA foam, and from there it just grew, and I was able to start my own cosplay prop business to commission props. And I've been doing series level prop design since 12, and I'm now an amazing 20 years old. So that's you guys do the math. I'm bad at it, but yeah, that's pretty much my story, and hopefully I have many more years of cosplaying to do. So, yep. All right, next we have Maya. Oh, that is Nick. That is not
That's definitely not me.
I get to go again.
There we go.
There I am. So I'm Maya. I run Myratheon Cosplay. Oh, that's weird. I'm going to do this way. I've been a professional prop and costume maker for about 2 years now. That is my job. I don't have to wear pants. It's great. Sit at my desk. So I literally get up in the morning, go downstairs, have my morning cuddle with my cat, and then do prop making for 14 hours a day. It's definitely different. I mean, if I screw up in my business or whatever, I can't just tell my boss to, go to. I am my own boss, and I have to deal with customers, and I actually have to be nice. Ugh, it's difficult. It's difficult, very difficult. I'm actually a member of the New England Garrison 501st, and I'm a member now, as of 2 weeks ago, of the Rebel Legion Alderaan base, which is essentially just the good guys and the bad guys for both of the New England Garrison and the good guys, Rebel Legion. I am technically a member of the 405th, but my heart's in Star Wars, so I make my money off of Halo, though, but I really actually hate Halo, but... Sorry, guys! But my motto is, who needs boys when you got Star Wars and cosplay? So, you know, Star Wars is love, Star Wars is life.
All right.
I started out about 3 years ago. I made Headmistress Triora from League, and then I just skyrocketed there to Halo, and then I found Star Wars and the 501st, and now once you go 501st, you never go back. So yeah, here I am on my journey, and I just hopefully I'm going to be the first seventh sister in the world approved for the 501st. So here's to praying. All right, thanks, guys.
All right. Okay, next we have good old Benton.
Say little?
I said good old.
Oh,
Good old.
all right. My name is Benton. I've been cosplaying for about 3-ish years, maybe a little bit more. My journey into cosplay started extremely weird. I actually got challenged back in 2013 to build 5 things for 5 people within the year. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? So I started off with these little props and everything, and I was like, you know, I'm actually pretty good at this. And I kept going and kept going and kept getting better and coming up with crazier and crazier ideas. Like the first thing I made was just a sequin guitar. The next thing I made was a Star Wars toilet plunger. Then I made a model train katana. Yeah, a model train katana. I took a model train, I hollowed it out, and I stuck a katana in it.
How is that functional?
Very literal.
The train cars are the sheath, and then the main engine is the handle.
Oh, God.
It was a long process.
I want one.
It was very tedious, and I almost threw it away 3 times. But I stuck through it, and I got it done.
It's not cosplay if you don't want to kill yourself at least 3 times during the process.
It was a real katana, too. It wasn't a fake one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I broke a real katana. Oh, well.
Anyways.
Then I actually started getting into more, like, bigger props. I built a 5-foot by 4-foot NES table. And then I moved on to actual, like, Halo stuff. Because in 2013, I went down to RTX, and I was like, you know how cool it would be if I built Halo armor and went down there and impressed everybody? And I didn't get it done. I went down there and got impressed by everybody. And it really helped kick me to get into prop building, was seeing everybody else in their super Halo suits and seeing all the fun they're having and walking around getting tons of pictures. And I was like, yeah, and it really pushed me. I got back home and I just went for it, and my first suit looked terrible. Like, I had giant moon boots, my codpiece was 3 times the size.
Good for you, man.
I know, right?
Walk with pride.
Compensating.
I said it was perfect.
Can I just say something real quick? This
Yeah.
picture on the left with Benton, that is his crow-inspired ruby scythe that he just decided to make, and it actually fires darts and transforms. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
for a guy who just decided to make stuff, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I tend to go for the crazier ideas, like stuff that hasn't been done before or people say they're impossible.
Cosplay hipster.
Oh, come on.
All
Is this
right.
the shades? It's the shades, isn't it? But no, like I like to challenge myself when I go into prop building. I like to find the stuff that, you know, like I said, people say are impossible to build. They're like, oh, that would never work. And I go out and I do it. And I mean, I love it. And then people are always like, well, I wish I had the talent and stuff that you had. And I tell them, I'm like, you do. You just got to go out and try. I mean, that's the best thing you can do is just go out there and try and make something. I mean, if you saw my first Halo costume, you'd be like, ugh. But I mean, I stuck with it for 3 years, and now I I got this. I improved on it and I improved on it. So my thing to you is that anybody can do this.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Oh, yeah.
You will
Yeah.
fail a lot.
Yes.
I should really show you that
Yeah,
picture.
boost your spirit.
See me afterwards for that picture. I'll show
Go to any cosplayer's house and go into his garage. You will see lots
You'll see
of
the
what
box
had
of
happened
mistakes.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes. All right, and
All right,
moving
yep,
on
thank
to.
you.
All right, let's hear it for Brennan. Okay, now we're going to move on to the professional of the house, Mr. Daly here.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Rob Daly, also known as Doc Daly in a lot of forums. I was in the U.S. Navy for 8 years, deployed to Afghanistan, and I don't like using mics. I like talking to all of you with my normal voice. Can everyone hear me? All right. Fantastic. I've been building stuff for 4 years. I got back from Afghanistan. Within 3 months, I became a civilian. Within 3 months after that, I got married, and I've been loving life ever since. But, it was a transition for me. I went from, using real weapons against real people to making fake things for fake people? That doesn't work. So yeah, it was very therapeutic for me. I started, painting little miniatures, Warhammer 40K. If any of you ever thought you could not paint, get one of those little kits, get you started, and you know something, you may actually find you have a passion for something you never knew you had. And that's exactly how I, yeah, there you go, man. My main area of specialty that I've accidentally fallen into is 3D art design, 3D printing, molding, sculpting, and all that kind of good stuff. Never in a million years would I have thought of ever doing anything like that. I was a medical guy. I'm used to seeing you at the worst moment of your life and actually making sure that you stayed alive to have another bad moment years later. So trying to do this painting thing and this art thing, and that wasn't me. That wasn't what I did. That was weird to me. It was a really culturally kind of a weird thing. So when people call me an artist, I'm like, well, those are people who can paint murals and paintings and sculpt these beautiful things. And a lot of what all of my, even my fellow panelists do, I consider them true artists. And when people look at me, I'm like, I use science and technology and equipment and chemicals and, all that kind of good stuff. And it accidentally turns out okay. And I'm like, okay, I consider myself more a scientist with this stuff than I do an artist. And take my hat off to every single one of you who are an artist, who do make a lot of things off the top of your head without the aid of special tools and technology. I love you guys. You inspire me every day. So round of applause for all you proper artists. All right. Now, I am a member of Stony Props. We've done contract work for 343 and a couple little odds and ends for a couple of other companies that regrettably I'm under a non-disclosure agreement to mention. But we've done stuff that you've seen, and I just can't say what. That sounds like a lie, but regrettably legalese is intimidating and scary. So, and I'm also a member of the UNSC Blue Team. I said I'd give them a shout out. They're my guys on the Halo 5. They've unlocked the Achilles armor for those of you who know how hard that is to unlock, and we're almost about to unlock the helmet. We're very excited. If you don't know what that is, that's perfectly fine. It's just a lot of gaming, okay? And then a fun fact. In fact, in the next slide, you're going to see me in a picture of a Metroid Samus Aran outfit. And I was doing a lot of pictures over at New York City Comic Con, and some guy grabbed a hold of my butt and tried to rip my butt off. I'm like, oh my God! It's not funny. That guy straight up grabbed me in a no-no spot, all right? All because he thought I was a girl, because I was gender bending or cross-playing or what other combination of ways you want. I thought it was masculine because I had a cod piece, but evidently he didn't get the memo. And so I looked over and I was like, dude, you know I'm a guy, right? He goes, oh my God, and went running away. I'm like, yeah, serves you right. That hurt, damn. So for all of you ladies who have ever had a moment, I am so very sorry for those kinds of moments, but sincerely, cosplay is not consent. I needed to make sure I at least said that once. For all you ladies and for all you guys who do other kinds of costumes that people think are feminine, it is not okay. Yeah, all right, so anyway, that is my drum I'm going to beat. In the meantime, I'm going to be getting into armor in front of all you beautiful people, which means I'm going to get not fully naked, but kind of sort of.
Taking his pants off.
So I'm going to remove myself from the top. I'm going to start getting myself situated, and the rest of my panelists will start doing their thing. So thank you very much for your time.
Just want to let you guys know, sorry ladies, he's married. All right, for our next panel here, this is somebody who's not up here, but somebody who's helping make this show possible. We got Kyle, Mr. Chief Crucker. Krukar. All right, he's the guy filming this. He's the guy who is the reason you guys are going to be able to see maybe some of you on YouTube later. So big shout out to him, and of course him next to Doc in his Metroid armor. So
It looks awesome, though.
okay.
Quick about me, so obviously you see I do cam work, video, and stuff like that. I got my degree in broadcasting and film. I've been doing independent and freelance film work in New York City, Pennsylvania, all over the place. I've been cosplaying since 2010. I started out buying combat gear from airsoft stores, doing Call of Duty cosplays, and then as you can see in the picture up there, we actually wound up crafting an entire Colonial Marine outfit and a pulse rifle and all that jazz. Awesome. So anytime you see photos kind of these guys at conventions and stuff like that, sometimes, most of the time, those pictures are done by me. Or they're done by Maya or some other guys that are with us as well. And back in 2013, due to the influx of photography and video stuff, I started my own business and have been doing it ever since. So that, up to you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, now we're about to go into a segment where basically each of us are going to give you a tip of advice, a hint, information that we have found extremely useful in making our armor and cosplays stand out a little more. You know, something that catches people's eyes, something that makes people just want to come and take your picture. Not saying that any cosplay is bad. All cosplay is great. Every single cosplayer in here, all the cosplayers, raise your hand. All right. I want you, everyone in costume. So I want you, everybody, to look at all the people with their, keep your hands up. Everybody look around and look at all these people with their hands up. Each of them come from somewhere and they have their own stories. And it all led them to cosplay and this panel. So I just want to have that said. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's a lot of different styles. There's no such thing as bad cosplay. Just bad behavior and bad manners. All right, so we're going to move on. I'm going to just get some stuff quickly out of the way because I'm probably the least qualified to give advice. So first off, inspiration. This is the, I'm going to stand up. This is,
Oh, way to go.
sorry.
Messing everything up.
I'll just shout. As you can see,
You are a mess today.
I am so not a professional. This is the inspiration for the costume I'm currently wearing, and this was a picture taken me early last year when I first put this costume together. I'm not good with fabric, so I had this costume commissioned off some Chinese company on eBay because, wow, quality. But you know, the gauntlets you see in this picture, I did make myself, and you know, inspiration is a big thing for a lot of people. People are like, I'd love to cosplay, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go, what character I want to be. And a lot of it is just turning on a TV show or an anime or a video game and just being inspired to do that. And I don't want you guys to ever look at a character that has really fancy armor or very fancy weapons or anything like that and think like, I can't do that. I'm not comfortable with that, or I don't have the skill to do that. A lot of it is putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm not great with wigs, but here I am looking like the freaking impersonator from someone from Def Leppard. So it's
You can do the voice, which covers everything.
yes. Unfortunately, I'm a horrible singer, and I'm not going to break your eardrums. So it's a lot of it is inspiration and pushing yourself out. And through this experience, you know, I'm going to keep pushing myself. I'm going to do bigger suits of armor, maybe some dresses. I don't know. You know, whatever comes in the future, it's all about, you know, pushing yourself further. And, you know, if you don't want to go too far out, that's fine. But coming a little bit out of your comfort zone, you're going to open yourself up to a whole new, like Doc said, he never saw himself as an artist, but, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone
do
and
your
being
butt.
inspired will help you, and will help you become a better cosplayer.
Sorry, Joe.
So yeah, no problem.
No, sorry, mine's touching my butt plate.
So
I love my wife. For the record, I love my wife.
all right, so
I'll try
yeah,
not to enjoy it too much.
a lot of it comes from inspiration. Next, community.
Nothing to
Okay.
see here.
All right, back on topic.
Why has my butt been, I've made my butt the conversation, what, 3 times this morning? I'm so sorry. Continue, Joe. I'm sorry.
Real quick,
Again,
I'd like to put a shout out to all the handlers out there as well.
Yes, a huge shout out to all the cosplay handlers out there. So yeah,
You're the real heroes.
and basically everybody clapping. You guys make this possible. You make this hobby possible. So community is a big thing. The 405th, the 501st, the RPF forum, cosplay.com, all of these different forums, and the many ones I didn't list, because there's tons, they all help. It's all about helping each other. You know, the 405th, I was a 11, 12-year-old kid with horrible grammar. And I was like, I want armor, but I am young, help please. And the owner of the site, the original founder of the site, Adam, he was a huge help. He gave me advice. He was very supportive despite being a little child, and he helped me grow as a member of the community. And the community is really helpful. If you're ever feeling down, the community will pick you back up. Which is why, you know, as cosplayers, no matter what you cosplay, you gotta stick together. You gotta encourage other people. If somebody's feeling down, maybe some guy said their cosplay was ugly, or someone tried to rip their butt off. Try and, you know, support them. You know, be like 4 times. Try and go up to them and be like, hey, you know what? This is actually pretty good. This is way better than my first one. You're doing great. And just helping each other out. That's one of the ways you improve, because a lot of it's about attitude. You know, skill, talent, there's YouTube videos for that. You can learn new things, but having the motivation behind it to continue is a big thing. And that is what pushed me to continue cosplay all these years. And that's what pushes a lot of people, is learning and motivating each other to continue. So for my final thing, a sharp blade. Foam work was really intimidating to me. I was very scared to do foam work. I'm used to Pepakura. You know, it was something I knew. It was something I was really good at. I did not want to do foam work. And, you know, the sharp blade not only represents what was my problem, because I kept using a dull X-Acto knife to cut my foam, giving jagged edges, making it look horrible. So, and then I finally bucked up and bought a bunch of new X-Acto knives, and I realized, oh, hey, that was my problem. So don't let something intimidate you, because the solution could be something as simple as a sharp blade. It really is. You know, you could.
How many of you have heard that the only tool in your shop that'll get you hurt is a dull blade? Yeah, exactly, because you try too hard, you yank on it, and then look at that, it's blood. So yeah, a sharp blade will never cut you.
Just
Unless
adds
you're in
authenticity.
surgery, the chance to cut is the chance to cure. For all my surgeons, what?
All right, so yeah, just don't. If there's something that is not working on a costume, you know, stop overthinking it. Just calm down and realize maybe the tool I'm using is the wrong tool. Maybe the paint's the wrong type of paint. And then that's where inspiration and community comes back in. Try some new materials you never used. Ask your friends on the forums. People who are a-holes on forums do not last long in the cosplay community. I mean, we've all seen the drama where, you know, there be like photographers who like never do pay the cosplayers. There'll be cosplayers who claim to do this and that but never did, who sell props that they bought from someone else. And those guys who stand on stages spraying their armpits, you know. There's
Okay, all right. I like to make sure that I smell beautiful for everyone, including my wife. I love my wife. So, you know, and I always make sure, a little pro tip for everybody, because con funk is a real thing. Fight it with all you can. You know, especially with all of us that do a lot of heavy armor and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of deodorant goes a long way.
It's wafting this way, and it smells pretty good.
all
I
right.
smell the sexiness.
So yeah, just keep an open mind. Don't be afraid to talk to other people. You know, I'm not the most talkable person. I don't like going up to talking to people, but I'm very receptive. If you want to come talk to me, I'll talk to you. But You know, it's just a lot of cosplayers are actually really shy. You know, they don't want to talk to each other. They just kind of walk around, stand for a picture, and that's it. Just, you know, talk to other cosplayers, because a lot of them come from, you know, we're all in the same hobby, and we just want to help the hobby get better. So be constructive, be polite, and help each other, and stay inspired, and make sure you have sharp blades.
I actually wanted to add something. Speaking of sharp and dull blades, if you are getting into this, if you're new to this, safety, please, safety. It is a very big concern, and I'll tell you a quick story. I went to go use my Dremel. I did not have my glasses on properly, and I cut my eyeball open. It was the most painful thing ever. So if you're new to this and you're just getting into it, please take every precaution. If you're going to be working with chemicals, get a gas mask. If you're going to be sanding, sharpening, anything like that, get safety glasses. It is a big deal.
A filter
Yes.
is always cheaper than a hospital bill. So, all right. So yes, stay inspired, talk to each other, and remember, safety and a sharp blade. Now we're going to move on to Nick here, who's going to give some advice. Thank you for tried clapping, but I'm not cool enough for a clap.
Sorry.
Joe, you're fantastic!
Give it up for Joe!
This is what I'm talking about, community. Motivate each other. All right, now we're going to start with Nick, who's going to give his advice.
All right. So on here, I actually have the first thing out of EVA foam I ever made. It is a Groot mask. It's super simple. It's just a sheet of EVA foam that I cut out in the shape. I popped out 2 sunglass lenses, shoved it in there. They're not even level if you look at it. But you know what? I was really proud of this. You know, there's the inside. It's not that comfortable. But this was the first thing I ever made. You know, it's just a Dremel that I sanded, and I bent it with a heat gun. And you know what? Like, this is what started me off, and it's super simple. Like, I really can say anyone could make this. And it's a good project for, like, even if it's a younger person making it, they can just sit there with supervision, and, you know, they can cut it out, they can use the heat gun, and then they can have a really cool Halloween mask that they can show off. And this was my test and my entrance into foam smithing, if you will. And then I moved on to doing my ODST armor, and that was all hot glue and EVA, and it was a mess. It was in my bedroom. There was stuff everywhere. Everyone who's made a costume knows what their bedroom looks like. I'm sure all of you have your rooms a complete mess right now, and you won't really clean that until a week from now. So, I went to college. I learned how to do game art, and I learned 3D modeling and everything. And for my costume that I'm wearing right now, it's Overwatch, Blizzard's new game. I've been at both the booths like pretty much all weekend. Great game. You should all try it out. Free Uber rides at the Westin. And they have the kits out, and reference is really important, as you're saying. And Blizzard is really good about giving out reference kits, but even if you didn't have the reference kits, gathering what you can from video game screenshots, you know, like I see Fallout armors out there, like you go in the game, take as many screenshots as you can, and then you try making what you can in real life. And I had the skill set of doing 3D modeling. And as you can see, I have the 3D model of this gun right here. I made that in Maya. I brought it into ZBrush. Yes?
Just want to say hi.
Hello. I brought it into ZBrush, and I printed it out, and I finished it, and this is a 100% 3D printed. For 3D prints, it's a very slow process. It can be expensive to enter into it, but I kind of feel it pays itself off after a while. But
Heck yeah.
yeah.
$800 3D printer. Started my Etsy store. Money.
But for 3D printing, because that's what I do a lot of right now for props, is like this is 3D printed, this is 3D printed. I have a bunch of 3D printed doodads all over me. They can add little greeblies to your costumes that increase just the authenticity of it. And even if it's not 100% accurate, it can just add that visual fidelity to your armor and stuff. And I really enjoy that. But you have to finish it properly for 3D printing. And for this gun, it was a lot of sanding with 320 grit, and then just spray paint, lots of spray paint, filler primer. just keep spraying it, keep sanding it, wet sand it. Wet sanding is just wetting your sandpaper, and it kind of gives you a smoother finish. And eventually you'll have a really smooth product, and if you wanted to, you can mold and cast it. And like that's not really my expertise, is molding and casting, but smoothing out these things is possible. A lot of people feel like it's intimidating. It's just a lot of grunt work. 90% of prop making is sanding. So wear your dust mask because you're breathing a lot of it. I'm guilty of not doing that all the time, and I feel the results of it. But for this stuff, like I really enjoy 3D printing. Don't let anyone tell you 3D printing's cheating. I hear that a lot lately, and it's a different skill set than people are used to, and it takes a lot of work. So,
It does. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You have to attaching it and getting it all to work and making sure it's the right size, reprinting. It's its own style.
I started making this gun last November, just so you know. And I just finished it last week, so. Okay.
So on the topic of 3D printing, this bag is my next suit of armor, which is well north of 400 hours worth of 3D printing. When we come to the question and answer part, a couple of you, if you're interested, you can come over, I'll show you a little bit about it, and you can realize it's heavy.
Yes.
EVA foam is cheap, and it's fantastic. All right, so anyway, I'll show you that in a little bit. We didn't have enough room to be able to start spreading 3D printed parts out, but if
Yeah.
you're interested, it'll be there for you to check out in a couple minutes.
So just getting a proper finish on your 3D prints is really good, and it can give you a great prop to have, and the accuracy is fantastic, and there's plenty of people online that you can contact to help you with that. But I'm kind of rambling on here, so I'm going to pass it on to the next one here to give their little advice on what they do.
Next we have Maya.
Okay, so, my biggest advice, you will fail and you will fail a lot, but it's okay.
Fail forward fast.
Yeah, exactly, as long
I
as you
like
don't,
alliteration, okay? Doc Daly, fail forward fast. I like that.
he's such a princess.
You love me.
But Doc loves his wife, guys, just to let you know.
I love my wife.
I know, if you ever want a Star Wars costume, I could tell you where to get it, who to get it from. My biggest thing was, it's okay to commission something from someone. I mean, give me all your money. That's how I make my living. It's okay if you commission something. For example, I don't know how to do, see, things that Doc can do, things that Nick can do, I can't do. I can't do molding and casting, like, what? I mean, I went to school for biotechnology, so I know how to make diseases to kill people, but I can't, I can make a fish glow, but.
Maya, I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
And I love my wife, but I love you too.
This is on camera, oh God. So I never really got into cosplay, I never really got into that sense, but I make things out of foam for a living, I sew, I do Star Wars, I'm Star Wars. It's okay to go to your friends. It's okay to find people to do things. Just branch out, learn. I just learned sewing for the first time from my sister, and you can check out my costume, but this is the first thing I've ever sewed in my life. And so that was different. I only committed suicide about 3 times. A lot of swear words, a lot of crying. I only cried 3 times, which I'm very proud of. It's not cosplay if you don't cry at least twice. Very true. It's very true, I'm sorry, yeah. So I specialize in EVA foam. I make Halo suits for a living. Hey, Brianna. Yeah, Brianna's actually wearing one of my suits, one of my earlier suits.
Stand up and model it.
Do your poses, do your Superman poses. You don't have to put this.
Everyone's looking at you.
It's also
Isn't
on the
she
screen,
gorgeous?
guys.
So I make that for a living, and then I actually do Ray commissions from Star Wars that are Rebel Legion approved. So if you guys are lazy and don't want to make a Rebel Legion approved costume, I got you, fam. So it's just, you will fail a lot, and unfortunately you can't just sit there and cry about it. You get up and do something else, get advice. YouTube is your best friend.
Oh yeah.
For the ladies, I very suggest makeup is a huge part of your costume. If you have a beautiful costume, but your makeup looks like a blind person put it on, there's probably an issue. But no one needs makeup, no one needs it, but it does help. I mean, I look like a troll without makeup, so. Yeah, oh, I know. So I'm just saying, for example, makeup tutorials is your best friend. I never wore makeup until I was about 15. God forbid. I didn't have boyfriends when I was younger. Let's put it that way. So makeup is a really good point. For the men, I suggest
Makeup too.
Makeup.
makeup
for
too.
guys.
Yeah, you know what?
Makeup
Yeah.
for everybody.
Eyeliner is not shameful.
Or just wear shades.
Yeah, just wear
Yeah. On top of that,
guys,
it's really
just wear
useful.
helmets. You know?
It's really useful for things like I'm doing Yang from Ruby, and I don't want to spoil anything. Oh well, it's been out for a while. Yang loses an arm, so I had to basically make my arm look mechanical, and I was in Target buying makeup, and it felt weird. But trust me, I think it's much better now, and it looks much better. You know, I passed a Luke cosplayer, and I was like, dude, I know how you feel. So makeup works.
It really does. Yeah. And my last thing is, if you're wearing armor, please weather it. Weathering is your best friend. If you don't weather an armor, so if he was shiny, it looks fake. You want to make it so it looks realistic, and that's the biggest issue that I come across when people ask me, so what can I do to be better? And I say, well, it looks fake. It looks like foam. His is made, what is your man, foam? Yeah. It doesn't even look like foam because he weathered it properly. It has rust, it has silver, it has earth tones, it has blood on it. So my biggest thing is weather your props, weather your costumes, because nothing is ever truly clean and flawless. It just isn't. I even weather my lightsabers when I make them. So weather your costumes. Do it. And please use the right paint too. Please use the right paint. I hate gloss paint for a specific reason, only because it's very uneven, and I always use flat paints or semi-gloss. Don't use gloss unless you're very good with it. Unless you're very patient, which I'm not.
All right,
Yeah.
got it. No gloss.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're going to start Q&A in just a few minutes. But just to, one person we had that I bumped into out on the floor. This is nice gentleman here. Hey, Mr. Quinn. This is the first and only guy I've ever actually seen use ABS to actually make his armor. Now, ABS, I always thought was a 3D print material that can give you cancer.
It's back for me.
Now, this is like actual sheeting of ABS, and it actually sounds like arm. Like, actually, that sounds absolutely cumbersome.
Joe, you looking good.
And now, I 3D printed these gauntlet tips, all right? And I covered them with Epsilon by Smooth On. They were here the other day, Reynolds Special Effects Company. They're fantastic. I love them very much. So this is a hard piece. That is some pretty beastly armor. Now, mine doesn't
Puny.
quite do it. For you guys over here. You hear that? Not so much. All right, here. There. Step forward a little bit so I can see. So, all right, so that's some pretty beastly stuff. Now, how comfortable is it?
It's very, very comfortable.
Very comfortable. The comfort level is a 2.
It's painful.
It's painful. All right.
You have to suffer. Suffer
My
for it.
armor, now, and Ben, I'm sure your armor too. Not so painful. It's maybe after an hour or two, or maybe a full day, and you start stinking. You might chafe a little bit in one spot, maybe two. How many places do you think you're going to be taking a shower and go, oh my god, ow, ow, ow.
My shoulders are burning. My arms are burning. My sides are burning. My knees are burning.
So I did work in medical, and I'm going to recommend that you go see a doctor for all the burning. All right. Just saying. But thank you very much for showing us your armor. That's fantastic. And I'm going to now try to find ABS plated sheeting. Where'd you buy it anyway?
The guy supplied it to me. The guy I work with.
He knows a guy.
He knows me.
That's like, hey, we're at a cosplay, we're going to hook everybody up with how we do and get things, and he knows a guy. So the answer is, meet Mr. Quinn.
Because he knows a
Find
guy.
out who he knows, and then it's networking.
Community.
Community.
Business, the networking. It keeps us all together. All right. Anyway, so we're going to open up to Q&A. We have the microphone, Kyle, right there. Fantastic. If you can start lining up very politely and not knock everyone over.
Right here, middle aisle in the back.
I do not have my med kit on me, nor can I really move to get you. You saw me trying to sit down. Actually, our two
comment.
Spartans up here and up front. The fact they were able to sit, I applaud them for a good design. That's fantastic. And Maya, for your suit, the fact that your friend can sit, that's fantastic too. And our artist down at the end, he was sitting for a second there, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta get up."
Hey, I'm sitting too.
And guys, if you want to come up and very, very politely, if you want to come look in the armor while people are asking questions, that's okay. We got some on display up here. You can come look at them. Just be respectful to people asking questions. So,
Anything on 3D printing, foam smithing, any questions you got, finishing techniques, let us know.
all right. So, first question. Wait. Now.
Is it working? Sweet. So you talked about an Etsy store, you talked about 3D printing, you talked about using other people's models and using their work. Is there ever been a legal issue you ran into?
I'm actually good with this. The props I use, I have gotten, the models I use, I have gotten permission from the modeler to use commercially. And every model not by him, I have made sure I followed the commercial laws. On Thingiverse, which is a big popular site for 3D printing and getting files, they will tell you the rights for it, both for personal and commercial use. Follow those instructions. A lot of them, you can use them for commercial if you modify them. So unless you're good with modifying them, do not try and sell those. It's stealing.
It's a gray area. It's a big
Yeah.
issue with 3D modeling is stealing other people's. It's not technically illegal, but you would be a scumbag, essentially.
They're gonna ask you to stop. And
Yeah.
if you get that notice saying stop, do
Just
it.
do
But
it.
they won't do anything like, they're not gonna immediately sue you
Yeah.
or anything. So if you get that cease and desist, just listen to
Everyone will hate you.
Adam Savage actually covered that at length on one of his tested videos.
Cool.
And he actually gets into it fairly well, especially because he does work in Hollywood. He actually covers that topic really well, and I completely agree with his point of view on it. But my fellow panelists are right. It is a very big gray area, and it's really more important that you play well with others. You know, as long as you give credit, you pay commissions, things of that nature, it's really just making sure people get the credit that they're due. Because that's really kind of that's not nice to plagiarize.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how many of you have been told in any of your classes, either in grade school, high school, or college, don't plagiarize?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Still
You've
applies.
been told that. Don't plagiarize in cosplay. Share the wealth. Everyone's going to be happy to see other people's work. That basically should hopefully answer your question, bud.
It does. Has anybody had a problem with their own gear if they're not selling it?
I've never had an issue.
I have never had a
No.
legal
Luckily,
issue.
I'll hunt them down
I
otherwise.
signed NDAs. I cannot comment. Just saying. Thank you.
Next.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you any of you experienced with Warbler?
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Another Warbler question. Every time I talk to somebody, there's always this Warbler thing. I have no idea what is Warbler.
It's a
pretty
thermoplastic.
good. Pretty good.
Almost all of her armor is made out of Warbler.
It looks
So-
fantastic, by the
I
way.
was about to say,
Yeah, it
you
does.
definitely have a Warbler cosplayer in your somewhere, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
what's your Warbler question?
Okay, what's the best way to blend the lines? Because it's hard to work with. Just
Sa-
getting it all heated
yeah.
up and evened out.
Sanding
I use
Warbler.
scissors.
Scissors?
So, yeah, if you smooth the what is called this, because scissors are straight no matter what. So if you actually take the tip of the scissors and you smooth it out like this, because I actually make breastplates for my Etsy store as well. So if you use the tip of scissors, I find it's the best to do that. And if you make it so it's in between where it's not white hot, but it's hot, and you make sure you press firm down first, I find that scissors are always the best way. It sounds weird, but I've always found it the best way.
And are you guys familiar with Kamui Cosplay?
Yes.
She's the nice German lady. I met her once. She's fantastic. She does a lot of books that she actually sells.
We have them all.
Fantastic. And, you know, I haven't quite gotten to a project where even I was going to work with Warbler, but $80 a sheet, where you can get 4 times that amount with EVA foam. You know,
But
it's
it's
kind of one of those
thicker.
things. But
That's
yeah,
fun.
I've seen a bunch of people doing some amazing work, and definitely I'm glad to hear that you know Kamui Cosplay's work. Those books are my resource material. All right.
Do you want to
My-
come see me after? I can more in depth show you.
I have a little tip on that too. A lot of people say you can't sand Warbler. I kind of go, I'm in the party of you can sand anything if you try hard enough. So with that, I found if you don't actually use this, if you use a Dremel, don't use the sanding bits. Use the grinding bits that they have for chainsaws
Definitely.
and knives and stuff. They're actually like a really fine stone, and they actually they melt while slightly sanding at the same time. So if you give it the seams a slight overlap, and then you can actually sand and melt it down, and you can actually get a pretty good hiding seam there.
Awesome. Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
Thank you.
Grinding stones. Remember that.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
as a relatively new cosplayer, not cosplaying now, but I've done Shell from Portal, Mabel from Gravity Falls, and Rogue. I am hoping to just find some inexpensive resources, like in terms of materials. I've used like pieces of pipes and like milk cartons and stuff like that, but they're pretty flimsy. So
Have you
is there any,
seen
like,
Post-it Note Iron Man? Like,
No.
we've all seen those memes where it shows like 4 or 5 different versions of Iron Man in the cosplay world. You have Robert Downey Jr., which is all CG. There's nothing wrong with that. But and then all the way down between the EVA foam, 3D printed guys, and then down to Warbler guys, and down to Post-it Note Iron Man. It's all fantastic and it's all creative. So I mean, it's really, you're limited by your own imagination. And honestly, with the community, there's a lot of creative people that seriously, and it's not trolling. When you're looking but not being a jerk, what is it? Scrolling,
Judging?
trolling?
lurking?
Lurking? Yes, lurker. Become a lurker.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
To actually offer a source for EVA foam, TNT Cosplay, they sell EVA foam in giant sheets, double-sided. You can go to Home Depot, you can go to Harbor Freight. That stuff is only smooth on one side, and it's expensive. You can get a huge, 10-foot long roll of EVA foam for an amazing price, and they have 5 different thicknesses of it. It's
And
amazing.
If you're looking for more retail, Harbor Freight.
Yeah, so I when I do my Halo commissions, I wait until Harbor Freight has the 4 packs on sale for $5, and I buy literally 50 packs of it. So Harbor Freight, Joann's when they're having their mega coupon sale, Michael's has coupons, and both Joann's and Michael's will accept each other, so you can throw it to the pits. eBay has coupons.
Become
Amazon,
thrifty.
yeah, become thrifty.
All
You'll
right.
save a lot of money.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hey guys, so you were saying earlier that the best way to make armor look finished is weathering.
Yes.
What's the best way that you like to weather things?
I use a silver paint. I'm just
Yeah,
going
me
to pop
too.
back to my slide here, if I can get to it there. If you look on the right, you can see kind of the accents along the armor, the kind of sides. It kind of makes the colors pop. What I do is I take silver spray paint and I spray it onto cardboard, and then I take a paintbrush and I dip the tip in the paint. And this is after the prop has already finished its base coat, it's what the armor looks like. And then what I do is I take the paintbrush and I rub the bristles covered in the silver spray paint along the edges, because the edges are where the things where it gets scuffed. And I just run it along the edges, and it makes it look like the armor's been weathered, it's been scuffed. So that's one way I like to do it.
Make sure that your brush is a hard brush tip. It's horsehair is usually what they use. It's a hard bristle you can get at Walmart for $2. It's tan, and those are the ones that will give you the rough edges. Just
Save your old brushes. They
And
come in
the
use.
way I weathered this is actually, any of you polish a pair of boots? All right, being in the military, polished a couple boots, all right? You put it on and then you rub it off, all right? You put it on, you rub it off.
black
all right?
washing is your best friend. It's,
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. So the short end, yeah, you can do a bunch of different things, but yeah, you can put it on and then rub it off. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
did with all this armor. And I did it all at the same time with the same products. I finished all the armor, and then I went back and weathered it all at the same time. Because otherwise you're waiting a couple of months and then you may do things wrong. You may run out of paint, may dilute differently, and then all of a sudden, hey, maybe you forgot how you did it.
And use the same product too, the same
Yes.
brand. So I only use Rust-Oleum, but if you use Rust-Oleum and Krylon, they don't mix well.
They don't play
Shout
well.
out to Rust-Oleum.
Yeah. See, I like Krylon more.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'd wear my helmet, but you wouldn't be able to know. So, if you are someone who loves to cosplay and none of your family, none of your friends encourage it, in fact, they discourage it,
Tell me about it.
Do you have any recommendations for like online communities or anything that are like very open and encouraging?
Yeah, we do.
Specifically, if you're doing, I suggest 405th. The RPF loves everybody.
The replica platform is
Join the
amazing.
RPF.
Like,
The 501st, we love everybody. If you're Star Wars.
This one's really.
Star Wars is the only thing to me. I don't see anybody
Yeah.
else. You're rebel scum if you're not in
Yeah,
costume.
what they said, if other than the RPF and the 405th, cosplay.com is a pretty nice forum. There's pretty much everybody who's ever tried cosplay has pretty much been there. Everyone has mixed feelings about it, but I mean, there's info there.
And Cosplay Amiibo.
Yeah,
that app.
Cosplay Amiibo is really useful. Also, this is really niche, but if you're doing lightsabers and replica lightsabers, force-fx.com, I believe is the URL. It's a Force FX Sabers forum. They teach you how to, everything you need to know about prop lightsabers that light up, they have it there. So,
And we look forward to seeing you at the 405th. So we can help you out more later, okay?
and the
Alright, thank
405th
you.
is we're mostly Halo, but we get lots of Fallout, lots of Iron Man. It's
We
different
got an entire
games.
Skyrim section.
Yeah, yeah.
Join the RPF.
I've even
Gundam.
tried getting Evangelion started. Didn't work out so well, but it works. You know, it's not just based on game. It works across everything.
Thank you.
So this is kind of a question really aimed for 3D printing and related things. Do you guys have an opinion of using plastic welding rather than printing interlocks to put
I
pieces
will
together?
answer that question in complete and utter geeky detail afterwards, because there's no way for Nick or I to give you a short answer and have all these people go, "We seriously," you know. So we're going to try and be polite and try to get through everyone else. We're running out of time, so I will
Okay.
definitely answer that question after the panel.
Thanks.
All right.
10 minutes, so
speed
we're
round.
going to speed things up just a scotch.
Speed round. Quick questions, quick answers.
Hi, another 3D printing question. If you were going to select a model of an inexpensive 3D printer for someone just starting out, what would be your recommendation?
I would recommend I have the Dremel 3D Idea Builder, but if I could do it again, I would get the Forge Dream Build. What is it? Dream Builder?
Flashforge,
Flash Forge. The Flash Forge. What was it? Dream Builder?
Flashforge Dreamer, it's a dual extruder, has heated print bed. It's like $100 more than the Dremel, and the Dremel is actually just a licensed copy of it.
Yeah, and it has a heated bed, so you can also do ABS, which is very nice, and it has dual extruders. So,
And then when you get to my answer, I say hell no, and then I give you a completely different answer. So, in an effort for time, I'll give you more answers later, actually. So yeah, I definitely want to catch up with you too. So if you can get with my buddy with the red shirt.
Well, I hope this one's quick. I wanted to do Airless Sakura since like Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I have no idea how to make Leku. I also want to do Dark Talon, so I want to. So
Etsy. Etsy, if you type in Twi'lek, head tails, there is a girl, her name is Pam. She sells them for $160, and they are the most gorgeous and perfect things in the world. Airbrush it too. You don't want to use acrylics or anything. You want to use airbrush or use a mixture of contact cement and acrylic paint to do it.
does it come with like a mounting?
Yep,
base?
it comes with the ears and everything.
Okay,
She's
thank
great.
you.
If you want to ask questions
Nerd.
later, you can come up to me. Lightning round.
This is about Pepakura. I started trying to make some armor recently, but with the fiberglass and resin, it gets messy, it's everywhere. Is there a better way to go about hardening it?
Epsilon.
Epsilon?
Epsilon. Or free, Epsilon. Epsilon.
I'm going to give you an old school response. Epsilon's great, but what I did was really early on that worked. I melted hot glue. Like I melted it all together. Like I took a bunch of sticks and melted them all down, and then I poured it on the inside of the Pepakura pieces, and it reinforced it and did a great job making it stiff and ready for Bondo. So that works if you really want to be super cheap and.
That's so weird.
That is so weird.
It worked, trust me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, I have a gun that these scopes, one of them's broken, that's why I'm asking. They're made out of masking tape, rolls, Pringles,
Huh.
and
Use what you can.
foam. And they will not stay on. No matter how hard I try, they fall off 10 times in the last 2 days. I'm out of super glue. How do I keep them on?
Actually, I ended up using, I went through about 5 different glues to be able to lock these 3D printed pieces onto motocross gloves. And by the time I got done with it, I believe I finally landed on Loctite gel super glue, okay? You need
That's
to
the
have
one I
something
use.
with body that dries reasonably quick. Loctite gel super glue, that's the stuff that you will love me for later.
My other suggestion is to use hyperglyceride. It's if you go to a model paint, like a model shop that make model cars and stuff, it's about it's about this high, it's like this. It's about $8, but it's a glyceride and actually forms two things together, so you will never be able to rip it off, because that actually melts the material on the inside to the whatever it's contacting. So it's a glyceride material. I can give you the product detail to it. I'll put it up on my phone, and you can come after me afterward if you want the actual name brand for it.
Okay, does that have the same effects that, say, spray paint on foam would have, like it disintegrates it?
Yep.
It does, okay.
It does.
Okay. That's the problem I have with this. That's why this one won't go on, because the super glue.
The Loctite gel that I would
That's the one I
recommend.
use. That's what I have in my bag and won't keep it on anymore.
Okay, well, the other thing is too, because you are working with a chemical, and even if it is a super glue, you need to let chemistry happen, all right? Chemistry happens whether you know it or not, all right? So you do need to genuinely give it cure time. You do need to let the chemicals do their thing. Also, it depends on what you've actually touched it finally, like, so if you had, like, lotion on your hands and you touched whatever you're working on, and then you super glue over it, it's not going to be successful no matter how good the piece is. Okay, so I sincerely hope that answers your question for the time.
Also, sand your surfaces. Rough surfaces bind better together. So
Yes,
smooth surfaces are
that's
no
true.
If it's smooth, not so good.
Real quick before the next question, everyone check your business cards that was on the seat. If your business card has a black dot in the top right corner, please come up over here and over here to the right and in an orderly fashion. First one there, stand behind them, and what? So anyone with a black dot in the corner, come up here.
We're sacrificing you.
Or if there's chairs that don't have them, go run and
You
check
guys,
them real quick.
you guys are, I'm not joking.
So, okay, there's 4 people, so we're missing some. Okay, next question.
Quick primer. How good are you guys with electronics?
So-so.
Okay. Long and the short, I'm part of building a shining Gundam suit with a friend of mine. He's doing all the construction, but it's my job to wire up. We're trying to do sound, lights, all that fun stuff. It's gotten to the point where I think I'm going to try to grab an amp, but I have no idea even where to begin to look. Is this something that sounds like
Like, are you
pants
trying
on
to
head
get
crazy?
Are you trying to get sounds for every time you're actually moving, or is this just like you're gonna stand still, and make noises?
No, this is specific things tied in with actuators on top of an Arduino.
Come up to me afterward. I can give you the product that will help you, and there's actual it's a fix-it store that will actually help you with it too. So if you want, they sell kits for lighting, and you don't even have to solder or anything. So
Really?
yeah. So I'll give you the link to their store. It's an actual store.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really convenient.
Yeah.
Next question.
2 minutes, we got 3 people. Let's make it happen.
When working with like a harder material like ABS or plastic or Kydex or anything like that, what is the best way to ensure that you can get a good dome on like spalders or like pauldrons? Because it's like, is it better to cut the seams and like registration marks and just glue them and maybe put like quick caulk on it, or?
The super short answer, Evil Ted. If you do not know who Evil
Yes,
Ted
no, I
is.
know.
All right,
he's great.
Evil Ted is the guy that I go by and swear by for all of my compound curves and things of that nature. And if you've seen Evil Ted, that is the definitive answer for that
All right.
question, okay? Thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
Next person.
So a bunch of my friends have gotten into playing with fire, like fire swords, fire staffs, and so on. And
Alright.
amongst their concerns with costumes is this material going to burn off of me if I set myself on fire, or is it going to melt into my skin?
Yes.
So I was wondering if you had any recommendations for materials that are decently easy to work with, but cheaper than Nomex and Kevlar.
The answer is, I don't think any of us have a good answer to that, do we?
So you want it to look like fire?
Don't
No,
play
no,
with
so it doesn't
fire.
catch me.
Most things will melt.
They want to
onto
hit
you.
each other with fire and not
What
catch
convention lets you
My
play with
suggestion
fire?
is don't.
Yeah,
That's a
sorry.
legit answer too. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, YouTube, man, YouTube.
And our last person.
So one, you can buy the plastic sheets on the McMaster car. If you don't know about it, it's awesome for anything engineering, like supplies. And then, what's your favorite way to prime raw foam to paint before, like Plastidip?
Plastidip.
Plastidip.
Use at least 5 coats of
Do you
Plastidip.
have an issue with
I don't, but you should.
So what you do is you, if you use a heat gun, it will actually take the pores of the EV foam, EV foam.
EVA.
Yeah, you want it
EVA
like kind
foam.
of shiny before. But
Yeah.
like I've had issues with it whenever I spray it, it like sputters out of the can. Is it just like a
That's the
crappy can?
broken, it's a broken nozzle, and
Okay.
it's really common, unfortunately. So you
Yeah,
can sand
it's-
it down if it happens.
Stick around, I have a different answer for you.
Yes.
He has to be different.
I personally, I hate Plastidip. It's, you know, it has like a crossbones on it, or used to, and then their branding said, oh, maybe we shouldn't put that there. The stuff's super toxic while it's in liquid form, and I don't have a position to be able to spray Plastidip without killing myself.
Also, don't use the off-brand, like
Yeah,
Leak
don't
Seal.
use-
It's
don't use
it's even worse.
And don't use the dip stuff either. That's useless.
Anyway, Joe?
All right. I think that's it. We did have there was everyone who came up. Basically, we had a little giveaway very quickly. Come up here and on this table there's a 405th patch. You just won that. Congratulations. There's one more dot. There should have been another right here. All right, both of you, just take one of the patches on the table. And remember, guys, community is really important. Inspiration is really important, and a sharp blade. Remember that. Thank you all.
Thank you.